last one was good. I'm Ted. I'm the second vocalist and position filler of this little band of dickheads. With me being the smallest dickhead of them all, considering that my penis is the smallest average out of all of these. I joined this band because basically I wanted to reinvent myself and reinsert myself back into the music scene after leaving Sweden about 3 years ago. I did do a little bit of a living abroad in the Europs. And from there, I did a whole bunch of indie projects, a whole bunch of jumping around everybody else's bands, doing a bunch of covers, doing a bunch of fill-ins, doing a bunch of songwriting, and then coming to the good old US of A. And then it was nothing. It was nothing for an entire summer, and I had no idea where exactly to put myself, where exactly to go. I didn't even have anybody to socialize with. I was at home for 3 good months, stinking it up. And finally, when I got back into school, I met Tom. Through random-ass coincidence, just commented on his shirt. We started a conversation, and then, boom, that's it. We're friends. We're friends. We're the bestest of friends now. Through one goddamn little trivial-ass mark over his shirt, and I've loved that day ever since. He had a band. He had exactly what I had been looking for when I came here to Connecticut. Before I had come, I was in Europe for about 3 to 4 years. I was doing music with the Norwegian black metal scene. That's how I got into music in the first place. I've never really been too big into metal as a kid, believe it or not, because I kind of like to think of myself as one of the morbid, music-wise members of this band, but I was never into this kind of music before. I was always a musical kid from the beginning due to my father being a musician, a drummer. God smack his soul in hell, I hate him now. He was a drummer and he was also a singer, and so naturally through genetics I got the singing gene and I got the music gene, and I was always passionate about music as a kid, but it was always about entertaining music. It was never about this level of passionate expressionism or artistic medium. It was always just about entertainment until I kind of had a little of a tick in the brain, and I kind of had a little bit of an epiphany. Right. And I got into the heavy music. Black metal and brutal death metal are by far, and tech death are by far one of my favorites ones, and that's what I mostly try to get into, and that is what I did get into in Sweden. I did form a band with a couple of high school friends.
So what part of Sweden did you live in?
I lived in a really, really, really southern little city. It's kind of like a major capital, but it's nothing big. It's called Malmö. It's right there on the border between Denmark. You can actually get through there, from there to Denmark, with a 15-minute train. They're basically right next to each other. I really put myself into the black metal scene because it was one of the scenes that inspired me the most. I loved black metal, and I loved what it stood for, and I loved the influential people that were a part of it. My greatest idol from black metal is Dead, the musician, the vocalist of Mayhem. He is one of my favorite singers of all time, and he was my idol, and it was one of the inspirations why I got into heavy music. Just not giving a shit. Maybe that sounds cliche to everybody, but that's what I always wanted to really put out in myself. Before it was reserved, non-judgmental, but now it's just utterly not give a shit, and really pour out what's in here, and let it flow. Let it take over the mind and the body, and what happens, happens, but there's a lot of madness that's stuck in the brain, and black metal was really a way to completely get all of that out.
Well, so basically you're telling me that is music is your life, majority. Music is your life and everything, right?
It never was like that. Funny thing, it never was like that. Music was like a side thing. I have been an artist at heart, and artistic expressionism was always a part of my life, but music kind of crawled its way in by accident and stayed, and then took a really big part of my life, completely by mistake.
Really?
Yeah. I never viewed myself a musician. I never viewed myself a person who would ever do music or sing or play drums or play a bass and be in a band or be on a stage and be entertaining people. I never even thought I would ever put paint on my face until I discovered black metal, and then every stage, on every show, I was getting up on a stage with corpse paint all over my face, dead bones on a necklace around my neck to tribute to my favorite singer, Dead, always screeching about Satanism and destruction and black hellfire. And that's what really just brought out the me in me.
Right.
Right now, I feel extremely lucky. And everybody's going to say that, and that feels extremely cliche, but I feel extremely lucky because not every band that I have been in, and not every music scene that I've tried to associate myself was this open and this divergent. We really want to go all out in all aspects, in brutality, in musicality, in originality, in everything. And
So basically, this band is your heart and soul. You will never let that.
of course, I want us to be like the new Mayhem. I want us to be like the new Mayhem. I don't want us to exactly be Mayhem. I want us to be us. But I want us to be one of those bands that broke through the scene from the underground. Because we live in the underground, we are the underground. And I want us to break out from that underground and become that band. That band that everybody talks about. Maybe not everybody likes it, maybe not everybody listens to it, but everybody definitely knows about it, and definitely everybody knows what they do.
Right.
I want to be that band, that original band, that has that sound, that'll make nuns shut their ears, that'll make moms say to their children, don't listen to that band, don't go to their concerts, because you know that those children are going to love that music, and that music is going to speak to those children. That's what I want for us.
So So when you got into this band, what did you think about your band members?
I thought they were just one of the most wonderful people that I ever met. I come from a really brutal culture, socially. In my culture, getting friends, becoming friends with people, integrating yourself into a socially conscious society, that's one of the most difficult things you can do. You have to start from kindergarten just to be able to build yourself up hierarchically on a social scale. It's very difficult. Coming into this band and being so accepted and being so openly welcomed and warmly received, it was like the biggest surprise in the world.
Right.
It was absolutely the biggest surprise in the world, and it was a little weird to comprehend at first, but now that I've been able to get comfortable with my bandmates, through my bandmates,
Yeah, I'd say we're
I
pretty
feel like I've opened myself even more than when I have in Sweden. In Sweden, it was all about brutality. It was all about having the most morbid, most blackest sound and going even harder and even higher. But with this band, it's new. Make something new. Make something original. Make something awe-inspiring.
So
And that's what we go for. And that's
Awesome.
what I fell in love with.
okay. So at the end of the day, what do you hope for this band?
What do I hope for this band? I want to put us on the map. If we get famous or not, I don't care. If we have all the riches in the world, I don't care. If we are able to afford a triple-decker yacht jet, I don't care. As long as we're that band that's going to ring in everybody's brains and everybody's going to know who those band members are and everybody's going to talk about those band members and about what they did, about who they were, that's what I want. I want children to speak about it. And I want children to get up in their classrooms and stand against conformity, stand against establishmentism, and go, I want to be like that bandmate, because he never stood for always being plain, and he never stood for always being average and always being ordinary and regular. He never cared if people thought he was weird or not, and I don't care if people think we're weird or not. I want us to be that band that everybody knew was whoever the hell they wanted to be.
All right. Thank you so much for the interview.